Louisiana Governor John Bell Edwards joining us this morning. Governor, thanks for sitting in with us for a few minutes.
Adam, it's good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, Hurricane Laura just devastated Southwest Louisiana. Thousands still without power. Some evacuated eastern Louisiana, but many went north and west into Texas. They're still here as another hurricane threatens the coast. Better news today, it's moving more easterly, but Louisiana still could get some rain and potential flooding. So what is your message to people who are still here with us in Texas as they watch another hurricane inch closer to the coast?
Yeah, well, Adam, first of all, we're very thankful that over the last day or so, every forecast has moved Hurricane Sally away from Louisiana. That's still forecast because it hasn't actually started to move north yet. It's still moving west. But we have confidence in the forecast. We pre-position lots of search and rescue assets here, whether it's National Guard, Wildlife and Fisheries, Fire Marshal, but we also have federal assets in the state because of the pre-landfall declaration that the president gave us. We are now making those available to people in Mississippi, or to the governor of Mississippi and Alabama, I should say. But for the folks who are still evacuated from Hurricane Laura, what I would tell them is the devastation, the damage in Southwest Louisiana, principally Cameron, Calcasieu, parts of Beauregard Parish, really catastrophic. And some of the most important services are not available there, including electricity. There's still some water disruptions and so forth. The people of Texas, and especially the governor, I want to thank him, have been very generous in terms of putting people up in shelters. And those, because of COVID-19, those are non-congregant shelters, those are hotels. And so I would encourage people, if they don't know for a fact that they can safely return home to a habitable, safe, and secure home, they need to stay in Texas because we've got more than 18,000 people that are being put up in these hotels. More than 5,000 in Texas alone. And in Louisiana, almost all of this, close to 13,000 are in New Orleans. And so we don't have many more hotel rooms in Louisiana. And if people come back and they can't go into their own homes, there's a chance they're going to be put into a congregant shelter, which we don't want to do in COVID-19. We don't want to put them on the floor of a mass shelter facility with other folks. So take advantage of the opportunities you've been given in Texas. We are, and by the way, if you're in Texas, but you're staying with relatives or you're in a situation that isn't sustainable, the people in Texas and Red Cross are still working with individuals to find hotel rooms for them. So I would encourage you to call 888-991-5229 to confirm that you're from Louisiana, you evacuated because of the hurricane. Let them know what parish you're from, and then they will help you to register for accommodation. So that's the information I would share with the people of Louisiana who are still in Texas because of Hurricane Laura.
How's the state holding together, rebuilding after one, and kind of bracing for impact for another? Still not sure where exactly it's going to go, but still two hurricanes so close together. How's the state handling this?
Yeah, well, Adam, that's a great question. And even if it's not going to be Hurricane Sally, the storm systems are stacked up across the Atlantic. And it seems like the continent of Africa is spitting out a new storm every day. Hurricane season, as we all know, goes to November the 1st. And so we have to be prepared. I will tell you that the faith-based community, the nonprofit sector, the local officials in the affected regions of Louisiana, along with the state and federal teams that are working so hard, are doing really, really good work. We're much further ahead at this point compared to where we were after previous storms. And this was the strongest storm to strike Louisiana since at least 1856. And the damage is absolutely catastrophic. That we have challenges because of COVID-19, and when it comes to transportation, when it comes to evacuations, when it comes to sheltering, all of the services that we are making available to people, you have to take into account COVID-19, and it complicates things. But I will tell you, there's a resilient spirit about the people of Louisiana, and I'm very proud of the work that's going on. We've got a long way to go. This is very much a marathon. It's not a sprint. The hotels are going to continue for some time, and then we have to transition into other housing options. and those two are complicated by COVID in many ways. But I'm optimistic. At the end of the day, we're going to rebuild stronger, better. We're going to be more resilient in the future. One of the things we have to do is make sure we're taking care of people's nutrition needs. So whether you're in Louisiana or in Texas, if you're a victim of Hurricane Laura and you're from one of the parishes that have been given individual assistance, and you're approved for DSNAP. So these are people who are not normally on the SNAP program, but disaster SNAP is available to them. We're doing that virtually this year. So you don't, even though while you're in Texas, you don't have to come to Louisiana, stand in line in order to get DSNAP benefits. That's the way we've always done it in the past. But this is the first time in Louisiana we've done this virtually. Because of that, I'm asking people to make sure that they're taking advantage of SNAP. And you can do that by calling 1-888-LA-HELP-YOU. About 15,000 families have already done this. If you qualified, we will either mail or overnight the card to you so that you have access to nutrition for you and your family. So that's really important. You can also text LADSNAP to 898-211, and you'll get more information about how to take advantage of that. But it is available to evacuees in Texas, and they don't have to come back to Louisiana in order to get that benefit.
That's amazing. A lot of nuanced moving parts to stuff like this when stuff like this happens. Are you going to still brief Louisiana later today?
Yeah, at 2:00 we'll have an update, we always have a lot of things to talk about. What is the current status of our recovery from Laura? What's the current status of our public health emergency? So what do the COVID numbers look like in terms of tests administered over the previous 24 hours, the positive results, the hospitalizations, the deaths, and then of course we're going to talk about Sally as well. And by that time, we hope that the storm has started to move north to kind of confirm that it is going to behave in accordance with the forecast that we have. So there's plenty to talk about. We'll be doing a press conference at 2:00 today to update the people of Louisiana. And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to some of our citizens there in the great state of Texas. And again, I want to thank all the folks in Texas and the governor for being such good neighbors to us when we need it, and we'll be looking forward to the opportunity to return the favor. Hopefully we don't have an occasion to do that, but if we do, rest assured Louisiana will be good neighbors to our friends in Texas.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Governor Edwards. My family, at least, will be praying for your family and your administration and all of the people in Louisiana. So thank you for joining us. And
thank you, Adam, and God bless.